Vitz yashisa ikinika 100 kilometers go 4.4 liters. Child screen ge Apple CarPlay ne Android Auto. Big boot, park distance control 7 colors. Yay! ABS, EBD, VSC, HAC, Nama airbags. Achoo!
Now that's a score.
Toyota Vitz, more motor, less money.
Fresh from securing their place in the group stages of the CAF Champions League, the champions Mamelodi Sundowns return to Premiership action as they welcome Marumo Gallants in this Betway Premiership fixture. And it is their first or the second home game of the season in the DStv Premiership, the Betway Premiership, having opened, of course, with a Tshwane derby, and this will be their second match. Then they'll be looking to make it 2 out of 2. As you see, the colors of Siwelele Samasele, who these days have adopted Marumo Gallants, who now play their home games in Bloemfontein, of course. This is the match we're gathered here for this afternoon. Mamelodi Sundowns up against Marumo Gallants, who are back in the top flight, having secured the status of Moroka Swallows, and in that way ensuring that they are back at the main table of South African football after being relegated 2 seasons ago. Well, things are looking ominous, even though it's early days. Back-to-back defeats in their opening matches have Marumo Gallants in a rather uncomfortable situation, and they'll be certainly looking to avoid defeat here this evening at Loftus Versfeld. I'm with Brian Mate for this one. We'll bring him in a moment to just get his thoughts, and we'll also be talking you through what the two coaches have done. So Mamelodi Sundowns will be starting, we started the afternoon in the 3rd place on the table, but of course having played only 1 match versus the 2 matches that had been played by the teams that were lying above them. But they'll find that when they look at the table now, they'll find it is Orlando Pirates that have gone top of the table. Looking in ominous form are the Buccaneers after a thumping 3-0 win over previously unbeaten Polokwane City, who had started the season with back-to-back victories. Brian Mate, well, when you look at the form book, when you look at what Mamelodi Sundowns is just the formidable force that they are, you have to fancy them going into this one to get maximum points.
Yes, on paper, but then this being a football match, things can always change. But on paper, it looks like they will continue to dominate. They look formidable. They're not far off from the structure that they've always had with Coach Rolani. They still want to express themselves. The counter press is still relevant for them, and the clinical finishes. Defensively, of course, they've got to behave well. That's also crucial for them.
As the teams make their way out onto the field here, it's a late afternoon kickoff here on this Heritage Day Tuesday. Wish you all a happy Heritage Day on this day. Of course, this as we celebrate a part of our heritage, that is of football, a key part of South African heritage. That is a beautiful game. Right, let's have a look at what the two coaches have done here. Mangoba Mngqeti, as you might expect, has run the changes from the team that played in the CAF Champions League against Mbabane Swallows, but only 2 changes from a team that beat Super Sport United in the Tshwane derby. Out go Lebohang Maboe, replaced in midfield by Opri Mutiba, and up front Peter Shalulile makes way for Tashrik Matthews from that side. So the 2 changes then are from the opening league or Premiership fixture for Mamelodi Sundowns. Brian Mate, then with those 2 changes, how do you expect it to change the approach?
They will play 3 at the back, of course, led by Kutsie, supported by Libusa. But 3, it is how offensive they want to be with Allende, and there's also Mudiba. It's that front line that is firing from all cylinders. There is Reiners that is leading that front line, and that's going to be crucial alongside Tashrik Matthews, supported by Lucas Ribeiro, who wears the jersey number 10.
There you go. Then as for the visitors, Marumo Gallants, as fresh from another defeat, they made two changes from a team that lost their last outing here. Into the starting lineup comes Daniel Nsendami for his first start. He's twice come off the bench. The Zimbabwean international signed from joining Galaxy, and Patiche Nange also gets his first start of the season for the new club. In fact, his first appearance for Marumo Gallants since joining them in the off-season. You see Daniel Agpay continuing in goal, of course, following the injury to Washington Arubi. The changes, by the way, the players dropping to the bench. Tiamong Tlapo from amongst the defenders, and Olam Lambo also starts this one off the bench, having started the last two matches. Ulani Quinda is our match referee this evening, assisted by the vastly experienced Zakel as well on the near side, and Smugele Jali on the far side. Bongani Mateta will be doing the paperwork as our fourth official, and our match commissioner is Mr. Paulo Marx. So then it is for Mamelodi Sundowns. They're going to have to do a rear guard effort here now, as the Pacers want to stay in touch with the pace setters early on here and make it 100% start to the season, as they've done, of course, as they did last season when they started off with that winning run. And they will be the side to kick us off for this afternoon. And away we go. It's match day 2 in the Betway Premiership for Mamelodi Sundowns. Match day 3 for the visitors, Marumo Gallants, who desperately need to start picking up points. They do not want to concede or rather suffer yet another defeat, Brand Mate, which would put them on the back foot so early on in the season.
That's one thing that you don't want to have. Coach Dan Malisela talking about the challenges that he's got in terms of putting the squad together. It's quite a big squad that he's going to be able to try and put together in a very short space of time, but also get them to respond to his tactics. It's not an easy one, but I see in terms of the lineup, he's got very experienced players in centre back, also, and Busi Sibia. You can think about Bloemfontein Celtics. And Kamanaka pulls the strings in that midfield alongside Patrice Donange. It's going to be an interesting one. It's a front line that is led by Shai.
This is a match a fixture that has been dominated over the years by Mamelodi Sundowns, unbeaten against Marumo Gallants. In fact, they've only dropped points once in their 4 previous matches against Marumo Gallants. So Gallants here are looking for a bit of history if they're to walk away with points here. In fact, they've only scored 1 goal against Mamelodi Sundowns, Marumo Gallants. 4 times they've met in the Premiership in the past, but they of course also met in the Cup 2 occasions. And most recent meeting is the meeting in the final of the Nedbank Cup, which Mamelodi Sundowns emerged victorious from.
So both coaches are talking about the importance of regaining possession as quick as possible, because they both know that they are vulnerable in certain instances when they start attacking. So that's going to be crucial. Players in the midfield, we're talking about Kamanaka on the Sundown side, of Rimuriva alongside Alense. That's going to be crucial in terms of how they regain possession and how quick they're able to do that.
Marumo Gallants, who the season they were relegated from the top flight, had their best run in CAF club competitions, but that came at a heavy price, because it had a huge impact on their domestic form, and that's their bread and butter. They ended up getting relegated from the top flight that season, and they do not want a repeat of that, especially given that they had to open the checkbook to get themselves back into the top flight now. The last thing they would want is because that would be a monumental waste of money if they were to go straight back down again.
That's true. And again, at that time, they had 48 players that I'm talking about, because then preparation is also quite important, because when Sundowns travels, they of course have a set of players, but there are those that stays behind and prepare. So the depth is quite good. If you look at the likes of Mukwena not playing in the squad, so it's easy for them.
Knocking it around here confidently. Marumo Gallants looking to mix it up with Sundowns. As this is good stuff here by Chapelo Lulu. Look out for him, an exciting attacking player down this right-hand side. Tracked there by Tashrik Matthews. Pressure there, and goes for a goal kick as Shai tried to keep it in play. The Sundowns look to do the familiar build out of the back here. Mamelodi has spoken about wanting to do things at pace and do things a little differently. Now this man has been electric so far this season, and that is Ibero Costa. Puts it wide now, that's not the best ball in here, but kept alive by Ibero Costa. Allende thought about a shot for momentarily. Rivaldo Coetzee or Brimudiba back in the starting lineup. Did start the twice, started the 2 matches in the MTN8 in the Premiership. He started off the bench in the opening tie, that's against his former club, Supersport United. And they ended as a after a tightly contested first half. Sundowns then really put the foot down and ended up running out 2-0 victors and continuing their dominance in the Tshwane derby.
I think one of their strengths is they want to own the ball. When they own it, they're able to make things happen. I mean, the likes of Reynolds gets to profit because of the rotation of the ball, and now that he's playing much more closer to the man that makes things happen for them in terms of Ribeiro.
Now, Marumo Gallants, it's a good ball out wide here. Dudu's got space to run into. Can he keep it in play? He's done the first part right now. Can he deliver a ball into the area? And closely watched there by Aseko Tiwani. 11 changes to the starting lineup from the team that started against Mbabane Swados in the CAF Champions League, but that was to be expected.
Well, that's the depth that I was talking about. To say they can go and play the Champions League with a different squad and come back and still continue with the other troop of players that are equally capable.
In fact, only 7 survivors are from the squad, the matchday squad, that played in that second leg of the CAF Champions League against Mbabane Swados. That's a good-looking ball in. Upsa got his head to it first. Brought down nicely by Siabulela Shai, and wow, what a chance! What a chance! Leaning back on that effort there, Patricia Zenange, but they did well, ever so well, especially Shai there, Siabulela Shai.
Giving his roles in terms of controlling that ball under pressure in the box and just kills it, and still the awareness to set it up for Patricia Zenange. Should have hit the target there.
Of course, Siabulela Shai playing against the club where it all began for him. Came through the Sundowns development. It's unbelievable that Siabulela Shai is 31 years old now. Of course, as he was coming through the Sundowns development, his father was tearing it up for the senior team. That is the legendary Isaac Shai
On the left-hand side.
So
Powerful
dangerous
shot.
left boot. Part of a generation, another generation of all-conquering Mamelodi Sundowns teams are there from the 90s, late 90s. Isaac Shai. This current crop are certainly doing their bit at securing immortality in the annals of Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club. Came so short, just short of the title of Invincibles last season, waiting until the very last day of the season to lose their first match. Now, great run from Chapelo Morena. Cut back here, chance for Matthews! We are up and running. Easy as that. Square ball. Lots of ball watching by the Marumo Gallants defenders. Tucked away by Patrick Matthews for his first of the season.
That's being a sniper, but also that's playing to their strength. And that particular strength starts on that right-hand side. We spoke about this man, Patrick Matthews. It's the run that they make. It's the space that they create. You look at the build-up, their awareness, how they rotate the ball, but coach spoke about getting the ball into the dangerous areas as quick as possible. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, look at Sevilla. Not convincing in terms of clearing it. He wants to control it. When you do that, you don't have the luxury to do that because you have the players on your case. They're in your area. They're likely to punish you. And definitely he got punished.
Daniel Malisela, the coach, said, Lulu needs to get in here. Very good recovery from Tuani. Daniel Malisela, a seasoned defender in his day, will not be happy at all with the defending from his side there. And they have put themselves right immediately on the back foot. It's the worst possible start for Marumo Gallants, who, as remind you, have lost their 2 opening matches.
They're playing against his former team.
Stolle with the, in fact, Stolle will check in the corner. There's the only man who has scored, the only player who scored for Marumo Gallants so far in this season. They are really now going to have their work cut out if they are to get back into this game. But here comes Sundowns again. Way by Vosislia.
They are going to have a problem. Sepore Khotso versus Sevilla. Serious problems up against Tashrik Matthews. The run steady he makes, very confusing because he's not your target man. He makes those runs and he profits from, the balls coming on the right-hand side. So far, no crosses on the left-hand side. Sundowns.
Very nearly losing possession there, opening with Ibabate. Sundowns. Now they have Marumo Gallants right where they want them. They can now then dictate terms here, control the game, manage the game, and well, it's up to Marumo Gallants to open up here. That's a great ball, wonderful ball to pick out the run of Raiders. He slips as they try to keep that in play, but what a great ball to pick him out.
Now, someone watching this game at home will be thinking, why would he be sleeping? I can tell you that 5 minutes before they started, the ground was watered. Like twice.
And actually, in the last game here, the opening fixture of the Midway Premiership, when Sundowns played the Super Sports Net and Solidarity, Mangobam would actually complain about the number of times his players were slipping on the surface. So I would have thought that the watering of the pitch is as per the instructions of the home team,
I thought so too.
and to the preference of the home team when they water, how much they water it.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was actually now proving to be a hindrance to them seemed a little bit odd to me. So interesting that you pick up on that slip already by Ikram Reyners. That's so Brumuli, but lays it back to Ronwen Williams.
Remember, the conditions calls for different soccer boots to wear when it's to wear. So some of the players are not wearing those kind of boots that would adjust to the slippery conditions. But yeah.
You can see anyway that the surface is not at its best. It's quite cut up. I mean, it's been rugby season, so this ground has hosted a lot of rugby matches while we were in the off season of the PSL. So that's why the surface is quite badly cut up. When the grass is now cut to a suitable length for football and smoke. Tapelo Morena, another cut back there to Reyners this time. The block, the shot from Ribeiro Costa.
someone needs to assist Mabucha on the left side. It is so loaded because most of the crosses coming on that side. As a result, the centre back pairing are forced to split with Sevilla trying to support.
Siabulela Shai needs support. To the edge of the box there, and then it's a bit of a tester, but Ronald Williams had it covered.
Shot on target and should assist in terms of confidence, building up some confidence. Now they have tendencies, Sundowns, to try and control the tempo once they've scored.
Just the idea was a good one, but that pass for Matazzi, not the best one. Just totally acknowledging that was not the best service. Looking to apply the press here. Marumo Gallants trying to do unto Sundowns as Sundowns does unto others.
What you then have to do when you do it yourself or try and put them under pressure, you've got to have the ducks on the road in terms of organization at the back, because they spoke about varying their play, but not ability to say, yes, we can try and build up from the back, but we also have a point of reference up front.
Matthews, space for Reyners, goes wide, flags up for offside. Rivera Costa, but looking at the line there.
I think the instructions were to try and operate where Mabucha is operating and put them under pressure, load that area, bring in the crosses, because then they become slightly disjointed at the back. Marumo Gallants.
Quarter of an hour in, Tashrik Matthews goal in the 9th minute. It's giving Sundowns the early lead here. There's a tap back there. And free kick for Mamelodi Sundowns. Tuani does well to try and get his body between man and ball, forcing the fine out of Sendami, the Zimbabwean international. Mamelodi Sundowns will be looking, of course, to replicate the start that they made at last season, winning their first 11 matches in a row. And that already, actually put them out of sight, makes it giving themselves a real head start. And it was always going to be hard to catch them. And whoever the pretenders are to their title will not want to give Sundowns a head start again this season. And so far, Pirates are doing their job and making their intentions clear. Emphatic win over Polokwane City at the Orlando Stadium in the earlier kickoff match that has put them top of the table. Sundowns can return to the summit for the win here this evening. Head back here to Mosali Busa.
I'm sure they would have done their ice bath, showered, their way home to try and chill and watch this game. They've done the business, Pirates.
What a run there from Moreno. The pace, the man doesn't seem to be slowing down over the years. His electric pace does Tapelo Moreno. Now, Gallants may come away and build something down this right-hand side. Tapelo Fudo is a lively player down this right-hand side. He's giving away possession cheaply. As I shower him with praise, of course. He loses possession. Got the free kick here. Foul over there on Dudu. Ende. Referee saw nothing wrong with the challenger. Gallants, in fact, have the free kick as a referee now wants to see what's attend to Allende.
Well, all teams. Issues there. Just a 50-50 situation up against Shy.
The last time these two sides met, when Marumo Gallants were last back in the Premiership, it was a 2-0 win away from home for Mamelodi Sundowns. Goes from Tapelo Morena and Temba Zwane, who's on the bench this evening. And that same season, of course, Sundowns beat Marumo Gallants 3-1 in the Nedbank Cup. It was in the knockout stages of the early rounds of the Nedbank Cup, but they beat them 2-1 in the final in 2022 of the same Nedbank Cup. It's a closely contested game. Gallants really put up a fight there, but just didn't have enough in the end. So the last time that these two sides met in a home game for Mamelodi Sundowns was in October 2022. And that occasion, just a 1-0 win for Mamelodi Sundowns. 1-0 is the score, 20 minutes into it. Chizunange had a chance, more than half a chance, but leaning back on the shot, he just put it over the crossbar and was been nicely set up by Siablela Shai. But Nange found himself perhaps in unfamiliar territory. Well, he has weighed in with a goal or two in the past. Chizunange was at Super Sport United last season. Only made 7 appearances though for Super Sport United. Didn't get amongst the goals. That's after making the move from Kaizer Chiefs.
There was a point where I thought he was stepping in his authority at Chiefs. For some reason, he was way in the back.
Primudima with a cutback! Oh, yeah, what a chance! Should have been 2-0.
You're right.
Should have been 2-0.
Exactly. Open net. Happens to the best. Open net. And he saw it himself. Just the technique.
We'll have a look at it again in a moment, but there was a gilt-edged opportunity for Sundowns to stretch their lead. To be fair, and it doesn't get amongst the goals often. Last season, just 2 goals in 18 appearances. And in his first season with Sundowns also got 2 goals.
Then
but that one really was probably one of the easier opportunities he'll get.
A lot of times players would miss the easier ones and score the most difficult ones. And some will say you start celebrating before you even start scoring. And that's the
problem. Yeah. Because again, the technique was all wrong there. Didn't get his knee over the ball, was leaning back a bit. And some excellent work to set him up from Aubrey Mudiva. As we look at Diana Manaka, Edgar Manaka, the veteran of this side. Captains the side as well, the 35-year-old Manaka.
It's a squad full of experienced players. Butchers on the left-hand side. You mentioned Edgar Manaka that we've spoken about, Patricia Jendake.
6 of
records as well.
6 of the players in the starting 11 from Marumo Gallants are over the age of 30, so it is a team brimming with experience. We do need to try and rely on those players that do have Premiership experience, who have played at this level before.
Now, the biggest challenge they have, Marumo Gallants' defense, is that we have these experienced players who are not the quickest. And they're up against snipers, like Tasrik Matthews and Reynolds. So you've got to be very sharp in terms of your movement. And I'm actually watching their movement now. can be confusing for any defender. So the communication is going to be very sound, organized.
He stayed onside, did Reyners there? But he might have strayed, but Gallants bring it up. Here's Shy, heavy first touch, but manages to get the pass away to Flutu. Has to hold on to it because Tole just gone offside. Siabulela Shy.
That's a fancy back header.
We are switching play here. Guided back confidently by Aseko Tiwani.
Remember when he got signed, the previous coach was raving about his ability.
The Gallants who last season finished in 11th place in the Super Foundation Championship. So effectively, look at that. I mean, just look at this here. Beautifully done by Vera Costa. They finished 27 places below Mamelodi Sundowns in their terms at Marumo Gallants. As Masati now looks to play a ball in here, but just a bit too heavy for Shai to chase. Leading the line this evening.
Talk about a player that enjoys his game. Rivera plays what a streetwise type of football. Look at how they quickly win possession. Sundowns, and the amount of time they take to make things happen, the patience. And you've got to be aware. You look at that defense, and Coach Dan Madison was talking about the discipline, the awareness and taking instructions. Late run, and look at the numbers in the box.
They're not picking up the
The awareness is non-existent.
Same similar situation what happened with the cutback for the opening goal. When you had a whole bunch of players on the edge of the box watching and admiring as the ball was squared in from the right-hand side. So yeah, it's not the best defense. I'm sure Daniel Malisela will get into them. I keep having to correct myself when I call him. Every time I call him Dan Malisela, because he says, no, his name is Daniel.
Yeah. But I'm sure you made one. That's why you would repent. That's 10 for you. That's 10 for you. And we keep saying 10. Next time you see him, call him pass. Get you laugh.
My page.
Yeah.
And started playing professional football and the pops on Russia Blizzard is the club played for.
Yes.
Before joining the Buccaneers.
Went on to become the captain. He won the
following in the footsteps of another homeboy, Nick Bazika Sishweni. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
And it was not just your captain, but was your mentor, as you know.
He was definitely a mentor.
What a player he was.
Bazooka.
Nick Bazooka Sishweni.
And there was a group of them. Of course, Lawrence Matthew was part of that crew.
Yeah,
Came from Komabu Pine.
It's a well-trodden path there of players who come from that part of the world who played for the Pirates over the years.
It was long-term
Isn't where, I mean, if we have to take it years back, isn't it where Shuffle Mkari also is from this side?
Well, Shuffle was based in Social Group.
Right.
Yeah. Shandoganda. You're right.
That was Shuffle Mkari. Hill extension.
Yes. Augusto Palacios will tell you about a player, big heel, you want to go forward, big heel all the time.
Back to the here and now. Mamelodi Sundowns are just really doing as they at will now, as they please here. Really, it's up to Marumo Gallants to take the risks. I mean, they're not quite at that point yet where they still have to maintain their shape, because you don't want to open up, and they will know very well that this is a team that can hurt you and hurt you in a hurry. Mamelodi Sundowns. So they are still trying to maintain a little bit of their shape defensively when Sundowns have the ball. The Sundowns are now forced to get into the slow build-up and move the ball around. This culture that Mamelodi is trying to coach out of them. Still wants the ball moving quicker. Wants to change, not so much of the identity per se of a club, because you cannot change the identity of a club within, I mean, that has been built over so many years. It's not going to happen within a few matches, let alone one season. But Coach Mamelodi is keen to stamp his identity on the side. As Lutlu gives a chase now, Shai is in the middle. If he can pick him out, and it took a deflection on its way through for a comfortable catch. Ronald Williams.
He was well positioned. That deflection did not rattle him. Talking about the variation that Coach Marumo is trying to inject into the team, to say there will be points where they have to move the ball quite quick. You can understand why, because if he's got a Tashik Matthews who's making all of those runs, and the composure from his partner Rainers, that should be able to achieve what he wants to have. But at the same time, their strength is to keep possession. They're leading now.
Ayende with Musa Libusa. Half an hour gone. Tashik Matthews got it all started in the first minute. I think Coach Daniel Manisela will be happy that they did not concede a second soon thereafter. So for as long as it stays 1-0, they are still in it. They want to stay in it for as long as they can. As if Sundowns do get a second, it's going to be extremely hard. I mean, one of the things they don't get credit for, Mamelodi Sundowns, or that is not that they don't get credit for it, but it's not sufficiently recognized, is how solid defensively they were last season as well. For all those wins that they gained last season, they were most impressive, the most miserly defense, 11 goals conceded.
And you know what you're saying, just to add to what you say, it worries them, because there was a point where they spoke about, we worried that we're conceding too many goals. So at some point we need to try and close shop and still continue to play our football. And that's been their strength. And he spoke about how quickly they want to regain possession once they've lost it.
The way that 11, that's what that 11 goals conceded was just one of a number of records that they broke last season, and by that that is a record that they didn't break, but they equaled Kaizer Chiefs' record of 2003-2004 season, when they also conceded only 11 goals. It was that that was under Stuart Baxter.
Yeah,
rock solid defense that they had back then. This is going to run away from Ribeiro Costa. The Sundowns will get the throw in.
I guess these days as well, we need to talk about, when you concede less, is it more about your defense, or is it about how they talk about to say, once we've lost it, we need to get it back as quick as possible?
Talking about centre backs from Social Group versus Mia. Here's another. Yes.
There's just so many. Mamupane, Social Group, it's just being part of the two big clubs. We're talking Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs.
Spears' brother is also a centre back who played in the top flight. The two of them were together. It as follows. Sipho Spear is the older brother. Nice turn here from Siabulela Shai. Cut back to the edge of the box here. Who wants to have a shot? They all seem to be skirting responsibility. In the end, the chance goes begging. Now they could get punished for that. Yes, Matthews. Raiders makes a run in. Should be two. Yes, two. For Israel Raiders. And that's just how quickly you get punished. Gallants with an opportunity there to get a shot away at the other side. It didn't come. And on the counter, blistering counter, Sundowns apply punishment. 2-0.
Let me say the Cassiway first. Walala Wasala Wafuga was full stand. Because that's exactly what happened there. They lost possession. And when you lose possession against a team that you would have heard from their coach to say, they need to be able to vary their play. There are times where they're going to play it quick, sleek, precise in terms of how they do it. They win it in their half. They get into the right areas. You look at this young man, Speedy Gonzalez. He gets the ball. He looks up. He could have gone for a shot himself, but there's a sniper on the far side. And the name of the sniper is, it's Raiders. Clinical finish. A thing of beauty.
He was never going to miss that one.
No,
Raiders. 2 goals in 2 matches in the Premiership for him. And he's made the perfect start if he wants to replicate the form of last season when he got 15 goals. And by the way, give credit to Ribeiro Costa, who slipped through the pass for Tashrik Matthews. So he called that a secondary assist there. Tell you what, Ribeiro Costa has confirmed that score line now. They're doubling the score lead. It's just 10 minutes to the break. Ribeiro Costa is now really become the playmaker.
He is.
In the absence of Temba Zwane, he is the man who is weaving the magic out there. Is Ribeiro Costa. No longer the focal point of the attack. We're looking to him for goals, but he is setting them up now.
Well, he's wearing jersey number 10. He's the sort of guy that says, just go, I'll find you.
What a vision he's got. He's
You
got
just-
an eye for the pass.
Doesn't it remind you somehow there's touches of the late Shakes going on in him?
Listen, and he also doesn't look labor than doing what he does. He knows about his business. But yeah, you're right about when he's on the ball, he just wants the likes of Matthews to just make a run, go.
Yeah, just go, I'll find you.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, I'll find you. Don't worry.
So Reyners and Matthews, they'll know when they see the man get onto the ball, just stay on side and then do this type of thing, then make a run. As Matthews tried to do, that comes to Costa, Ribeiro Costa, the Brazilian who's making the Brazilians tick.
I see what you've just done. I see what you've just done.
Well, this could get ugly for Marumo Gallants. This could get ugly. Still have 10 minutes of this half to go. What do you do now, Brad Mate? Is it too early to try now and be a bit adventurous, to try and put yourself back into the game? Because you know that's exactly what Mamelodi Sundowns will be waiting for you to try and be cute, try and get cute, and then they'll just pick you off. So do they still maintain, try and keep Sundowns at bay, keep it down to 2-0, get to the break?
Well, of course, that's the first thing that you want to do. You want to keep it as tight as possible. You're not too far off from, going for half time so that you can regroup.
It's a good ball out wide now from Morena, trying to pick out Reyners, waiting in the middle. That second goal was a thing of beauty and just the sort of thing that Mangoba Ngwete wants to see his side do when it speaks about breaking at pace. We gotten accustomed to seeing them with the romance on the ball, but they're trying to show a different element to the Agbe. Aubrey Mutiba didn't really get a hold of that one easy for Agbe.
By now, I would have thought Marumo Gallants would have been aware that Sundowns' strength has been on that right-hand side, where they've attacked them and created opportunities. So they would have identified that the strength of the Sundowns team so far is using the speed of Morena on that side and try and cut out that supply, force them to switch. But when you switch, you've got to be organized defensively because they're capable of switching play. Mamelodi Sundowns. There's Diwani who offers them that option on the left-hand side.
You spoke of a need for Gallants to offer some support to Mabocha down that left-hand side. He has not been coping with what Sundowns have been doing down that side.
He hasn't. And what the two centre backs are unable to do is to contain Raiders and Matthews in terms of the runs that they're making. They're not your big strikers where you know you can compete aerially. They just identify the space, they get into that space, and Raiders is good at that. And we have Matthews as well, complementing him. He's quick off the mark.
Well, there were some few grumbles and worries when Sundowns struggled to find goals in the MTN 8. Well, there's no such worries now. The goals, they are flowing now. It's 4-2 Premiership matches as Matthews looks to run on to this one. So they are flowing 4-2 Premiership matches. They got 8 against Mbamani Swallows, home and away. Like 4 home and 4 away. Away in inverted commas because both matches were played here at the Lucas Moyo Stadium because of the CAF ban on the fixtures being played in Eswatini. They still don't have suitable facilities according to CAF's lofty standards. Mahlati just thought he was checked, the body checked by Chapelo Morena. And with this score line, Mamelodi Sundowns would be on exactly the same goal difference as Orlando Pirates, who moved into top spots. Any days yet, I know Pirates have scored more goals, so they have 5 goals in their 2 matches. But dare I say, I find it hard to believe that there won't be more goals in this one. I strongly doubt that Marumo Gallants, on the evidence of what we've seen in the opening half, I strongly doubt that they can keep Sundowns down to just 2 goals. That's if they also harbor any ambitions of getting something out of the game as well. I mean, they could come back in the second half and say, let's avoid an embarrassing defeat and maneuver the bus into position. But what does that do really for their cause?
Well, at this stage, they've got to try and venture more forward. Defending, what are you defending? Because you're trailing 2-0. So you've got to be much more adventurous in going forward to try and gain something. If you get a goal, the score is 2-0, and you get a goal, you're back in it.
You have to keep yourself in it. Just give yourself, even if it is half a chance. But again, easier said than done against the team of Sundowns quality. The flag has stayed down here. Morena. Matthews is in the middle. Morena holding it up. It could fall for Allende here. Good defending, good recovery. And they get it away. Then from the danger area, Marcozzo.
My worry, Titi, is that you have a Morena that still has a couple of seconds to pause and look at the options that he's got. No pressure at all.
As half-time approaches, we learn that there will be a minimum of 1 minute, only 1 minute to be, minimum of 1 minute to be added on at the end of the first half. That's already been dominated by Mamelodi Sundowns. Ikram Reyners has now joined Evidence Makoba on 2 goals. He got helped himself to a brace with Makoba earlier. We'll see again this afternoon in that 3-0 win for Pirates over the City. Mudiba to the back post, punched away by Akpay. Look how high up Brandon Williams is, who is preparing. I'm sure he's been writing his acceptance speech ahead of the Ballon d'Or awards at the end of October. That will be handed out. You'll be hoping to receive that Yashin trophy on the 28th of October at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris. Now, Matthews there, you can see what he was trying to do. They're trying to thread it through to Ribeiro Costa. Joanna there seemed to have fouled Daniel Msendani. I think it's a bit of a harsh call. You know what was about in it?
Yeah. When you look at Matthews, his physique, he's playing to his strength because he avoids contact. You know, he's quick off the mark, quick in terms of making decisions.
Nicely done here by Aubrey Mudiba. Reyners to Mudiba. Great stuff. Reyners is back onto it here. Did he get a touch there or did he go down too easily? The decision from referee Quinda is that he went down a little too easily for the referee's liking.
Well, it's an interesting one to analyze because he wasn't too far off from the action. So it'll be interesting to have a look at it again.
Jojo has stayed onside here now. Can Marumo Gallants get something back just before the break here? Not like that. They want them send down the former Joining Galaxy Zimbabwean international side from Joining Galaxy. There's no slouch in front of goals. Sendami scored 12 goals in 16 assists in all competitions last season for Joining Galaxy, helping them to a league and cup double. Joining Galaxy, of course, decided were bundled out of the CAF Champions League by Orlando Pirates. Revenge is a dish best served cold. I mean, Pirates, but they exacted some revenge for last season's embarrassing loss to Joining Galaxy.
They were smarter, they were ruthless, and they've done well so far, Pirates.
It's been a positive start to the season for London Pirates, who are already in a cup final, of course. But here at Loftus Festival, it is the perfect start for the champions, Ikram Reyners, doubling it. It's saying 1 goal, getting 2 goals in 2 matches after Tashrik Matthews had given them the early lead. Well, as you look at Daniel Akpay, there's not much he could have done about either one of those goals, really. Left exposed by his defenders, and this man has been pulling all the strings in that midfield for Mamelodi Sundowns. So there's a lot of work to do for Daniel Manisela and his Marumo Gallants side to get anything at all from this game. Half-time in the Betway Premiership at Loftus Versfeld. It's Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Marumo Gallants 0.
cushion. They lead by 2-0 after 45 minutes. This is from 4 attempts, 3 of them on target, and 65% of the ball. From a Gallants point of view, yet another half where they go into the break needing to try and change something. Does Coach Dan Dance have the tune that will have his players dancing to what he wants in the second half? We'll be finding out in a short while. But we're still alongside both Dikgang Mamelodi as well as Stiga Fredericks. Stiga, there are 2 teams on the pitch at Loftus. Only one, though, at this moment has introduced themselves to this outing.
Total dominance from Mamelodi Sundowns. I just think that Gallants cannot contain them, and their shape doesn't allow them to contain them. We see Manaka isolated, and the spaces in behind him are just being so easily exploited. We'll see the first one here, and Dikgang has an illustration later. But just look at the forward pass between the lines. Brilliant touch there. Ribeiro picks it up. There's movement out wide. There's no protection at where the number 6s should be, Manaka and Nange. And you can see it becomes so easy for Sundowns with 5 players. They match number for number, but positional, the positions that they're taking up, it's just excellent here. You're not allowed to pass through the lines there, through the midfield. One touch, it's out wide, and all 5 players are facing their own goal.
All 2 similar goals that they're conceding here.
Yeah, we go back to the Chiefs' second goal by Villagas. Similar in that area as well. Players not being picked up. The late runs into the box. I mean, it's a similar fashion, and they haven't responded, you know, to those mistakes. They haven't rectified anything. So for me, it's I wanted to see how they come to this game. What's the plan? You know, after 2 games conceding in a similar fashion, I wanted to see what was going to be the response, and clearly they haven't found a solution for that.
It was discipline that Coach Dan Dan said he's asking from his players. 2 6s as well. But again, as we are going to be showing you, this opportunity for Allende comes from the same flank in that area where at least one of those 6s should be protecting the defense.
And Dikgang pointed out nicely the spaces that was left short. Also, Sundowns, they're not allowing them a lot of time on the ball, you see. The high press there, because they knew their possession based. They get it out wide there. There's movement in the box. Once again, just too much space at the edge of the area there. And Allende, unfortunately, couldn't tap that one.
So just to help us understand exactly what's happening there, Stiga, is it the 6s are being caught too flat?
Yes.
Should they maybe start a bit deeper in trying to, I guess, contend with the flow of Mamelodi Sundowns attack that is coming at them?
So Dan said there would be 2 6s, but we only see Manaka there and we don't see Nange. So it's either Nange is not listening to the coach, he's not being disciplined enough. He required discipline. It's not there. He's further forward there, and then that is allowing them to pass right through the middle. And then one turn from Ribeiro, one turn from Tashreeq Matthews, you're in on goal.
A big reason why this particular side has now conceded 6 goals in 2.5 matches in the Betway Premiership. That goal number 6 coming from, this is what they mean when they talk about a turnover of possession, isn't it, DK?
100%. Turnover of possession, I think they don't have answers for that. They do not know how to actually, they don't have a response to that. And for me, look at what Matthews does. He goes wide. And Sundowns, it's fewer touches, by the way. Stiga, you spoke about the spaces. I mean, it's similar. It's a similar way of scoring, and for me, it's predictable. Gallants should be able to pick that up. Matthews gets a nice cross for Reyners on the side, and again, Sundowns here score in a different way where we used to see them getting into the boxes with touches, but here it's a counter, so they are capable of that. You know, they're not as predictable. So for me, it's how Gallants now respond to in the second half. Will they make changes in that middle of the park? Because that's where the problem is. The defense is not just the last line, it's the whole team. The whole team. Defensively, they lack it.
One imagines that halftime chat from Coach Demelisela would have been really, really rollicking as far as Gallants are concerned. Does it change anything in the second half? That second half is coming up after this.
Celebrate the next generation of awesome. Awesome rolls with the punches and never breaks the sweat. Embrace the night with the Galaxy A Series. Because with Awesome,
Game recognizes game. Redefine style with the Galaxy A series. This isn't a trend because awesome never ends. Meet the next generation of awesome. The Samsung Galaxy A series.
Keep the vibes going with Nuzzle Meals. Get a snack wrap or 2-piece chicken tenders for just $29.90 per meal. Get a Nuzzle Meal today, only from McDonald's.
Produced and distilled in Cognac, France. Refreshing and irresistible. Infused with delicate French elderflower. Unparalleled experience with every sip. 5 times distilled. Royal Flush Noir. French luxury.
You got the whole world in your hands.
This can say,
You've got the whole world in your hands this summer with unbeatable deals like the Coca-Cola Original 2-liter for 90 Rand. Excella Sunflower Oil 2-liter for 57 Rand 99. Hisense 65-inch Smart QLED TV for 9,999. Cause games got you.
Hi, I'm Casper Semenya.
And she runs away and wins it brilliantly. Finished at the tail of the fifth.
I'm Prudence Rodiso.
Those are good. You want the 600 to set you up for a good 8. That good.
I'm Kanyisa Chawane.
In what world does a girl from Malaysia becomes a world champion?
I have the audacity.
I have audacity.
I have the audacity to dream.
My house burned down, and Ushers was there for us.
And they're not going to try and fight you about something. We understand that you've gone through a family trauma. We're going to be there to help you, and that's what they did.
Move to Ushers because it is the best.
Within hours, money was transferred into my account.
Less than a week, settlement was received.
That premium that we paid a month is nothing compared to our lives and rebuilding it if we didn't have our insurance.
You want somebody that cares. We've got that from our troubles. They actually went out of their way to assist us.
I was very, very impressed.
Immerse yourself in a world of opulence and indulge in the art of luxury. Rich and smooth, elegant and sophisticated. Its depth and complexity is unmatched, creating an unforgettable experience. Crafted in the heart of France, an embodiment of excellence. Voted best cognac in the world, the Cognac Masters London. Honor cognac above all else.
Because awesome never sweats. Embrace the night with the Galaxy A series.
The champions Mamelodi Sundowns are in a commanding position here going into the second half of this tie against Premiership new boys or Premiership returning boys. That is Marumo Gallants. Sundowns are 2-0 up at the break, and well, it's a scoreline that listen, you would make serious money if you can get if you would bet on Marumo Gallants turning that around. It's been 2 years since a team has managed to come back to beat Mamelodi Sundowns after they had scored, after they've taken the lead in a game. You have to go back to March of 2022 for the last time that happened, and that was when they lost to Maritzburg United away from home, having taken the lead in that match. They went on to lose that game by 2-1. So more than 2 years since that has happened. And you've got to say, on the balance of play thus far, it's difficult to see how Marumo Gallants do turn it around. But perhaps they can. It's 45 more minutes. If they go out there and win the second half, they could perhaps get something out of the game. Brad Mate is alongside me this evening. What needs to happen from a Marumo point of view if they are to get anything out of this game? I can see some changes being lined up, and we'll get your thoughts on that. Perhaps that we'll do is confirm those. Declan Reyners on the score sheet. He's now scored in his last 3 appearances for Mamelodi Sundowns. What a start to his career at his new club, and already repaying whatever gazillions of rand there was paid for his signature. He's already repaying that, and then some. This man has been largely a spectator. It's Ronan Williams. Don't believe he's had a save to make in this game. Right, Brian Mate, let's get your thoughts then. Is there a way back into this one for Marumo Gallants?
Well, there is. 2-0 is not the safest of scores. Sundowns would be the first to attest. If Marumo Gallants come out with a good posture to attack more and get 1 goal, then we could be talking something different. But I think on the Sundowns side, Mangoba will be saying go out and crush them, knowing that a 2-0 lead is not the safest of scores. Go out and crush them.
Well, they are going to make some changes. I see that the vastly experienced Siyabonga Nhlapo is one of the options as they look to try and shore up things at the back. There's certainly one way back into the game is to avoid conceding more goals. It's one way of looking at it. And also being introduced, Tapelo Mukubudi, who will come into the attack. He's come on for Mahlatsi, who really did not get much of a look in that first half. Let me get your thoughts on the changes then.
Well, one, you want to stabilize your defense because they have been leaky at the back. I think the organization as well hasn't been that convincing. But at the same time, you want to get offensive. And that's what he's trying to do, to say, I should not let in more goals, but at the same time, I should venture forward to try and get an early goal. That's the thinking, I guess, from our coach, Dan Malesela.
Back underway here at Loftus Versfeld. If you are just joining us, Marumo Gallants they kick us off at the start of the second half. They are in the all-white strip. Attacking that goes to the left of your picture. Just scrolling on the bottom of your screen, and you saw the changes then that have been made by Gallants. No changes yet on the side of Mamelodi Sundowns. So the double change made by Daniel Malesela as he looks to try and drag his side back into this game. Siyabonga Nhlapo coming off the bench. He started. He made his first appearance in the defeat to the Montville Golden Arrows. Here is the first touch then for Tapelo Mukubudi. Players who have gone off. Mahlatsi. Mahlatsi was operating down that left-hand side of the attack, replaced by Mukubudi. And of course, Siyabonga Nhlapo came on. Patricio Nange is the other player. The player was sacrificed. Reyners comes back to Reyners. Rivaldo Kutsia. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, warming up for the big one. This coming weekend. It's away to Kaiser Chiefs. Blockbuster face. Oh, Ribeiro Costa! Oh, wow. 3-0. As easy as all that. Carved open yet again. Ribeiro Costa from provider turns goal scorer. And it's all looking a bit too easy for the champions here.
The brief you asked, go out there and crush them. Early stages of the second half, focusing on trying to get offensive and going forward, you get to lose possession. Not when this man is there. You get so casual, you get dispossessed. He times his runs quite well, decisive in what he does. It looks simple, but there's so much work that he's going to do. One, he's going to deal with the keeper as he advances, but he makes it look so easy. You can tell he looks up because he wants to see the position of the keeper. He plucks it on the right-hand side of the keeper. No chance. That's what we mean. Crush the opponent early stages of the second half.
Well, any glimmer of hope that Marumo Gallants might have had has just been snuffed out by that goal. Ribeiro Costa gets his second in successive games. And the champions are now cruising. I did say I cannot see a scenario where Mamelodi Sundowns don't score again in this game. And well, the way they are carving Marumo Gallants' defense open with such ease, again, it's just a question of how many now. This could get ugly in a hurry. To be fair to Marumo Gallants, it hasn't been the easiest of starts. I mean, they've played Kaiser Chiefs on the opening day, and now in their third match they face the champions. It's definitely not the easiest of starts. Here come Sundowns again, and Modiba is taken out, but referee waves play on.
Good decision, I thought, from the referee. I think an experienced player such as Modiba, his peripheral vision wasn't good enough. He was not even aware of a player just on the side, on his right-hand side.
Well. What now for Daniel Malisela? What does he do now? Because this is now a situation where you are now trying to avoid a heavy score.
Listen, there's nothing much that I think he can do now except to hope that his players respond.
Yeah.
You know, to this game, and they don't drop their shoulders and drop their heads. You just have to come out and start playing. I think the best thing that they can do is to have some rhythm.
Matthews looking to chase the ball over the top. The Sundowns will look to go route one. Now they brought on Tapelo Mukubudi to try and give support to Siabulela Shai up front. The supply has been in short, has been precious little of supply for the front men. And even when they have had possession, they've been smothered.
Well, the other thing is that they don't have that possession for too long because Sundowns just pressure on the ball. Put them under so much pressure, forcing them to make mistakes. Sometimes that's the best way, in fact, to defend.
Gallants don't know whether the answers will lie in this deep squad that they have, the 48 players that Daniel Malisela referred to in his pre-match interview. Or is it a case of more quantity than quality? It's really asking a lot of a coach to work with that many players. But different problems to worry about here. I mentioned that speaking of a lot of experienced players in the squad, they have the oldest squad though in the Premiership in terms of average age, an average age of 31.2.
And you're up against speedy, slick players, and you've got to cope with the tempo of the game. It's not the easiest of situations for these experienced players. One or two players. I think one of them is crimping, I'll tell you now.
You were saying a little earlier, just before kickoff at the start of the second half, that 2-0 can be a dangerous scoreline. I'm beginning to wonder about that. It's become a truism in football. You know what they say? You say something enough times and you repeat it oftentimes, it becomes a bit of a truth. But I don't know whether the numbers would back it up.
Well, the numbers can back it up in certain games, but it depends on the team. Because, yes, they're not playing well. But sometimes a goal, and you get a goal early stages of the game. And in order to do that, you've got to assert yourself in this game. Sundowns has not given them the time, the luxury to be able to assert themselves on this game. And it takes different type of players that you have, as Dan Martin said, are those that can say, let's go for it. And sometimes it's not even the coach, Titi, that has got to tell you to say, you just have to amongst yourself to say, let's go for it.
Both Sela, as always, in attendance, but he's perhaps found a team in green and white to support now in the new season. But it doesn't mean you'll stop seeing him all over the country.
Yeah.
By the way, this scoreline now means that Marumo Gallants have now conceded at least 2 goals in each of their opening 3 matches in the DStv Premiership. So a story of a leaky defense is one that does not augur well. In order to avoid defeat, you've got to first avoid conceding goals, and they haven't done a good job of that thus far. They've only scored the 1 goal. It was against Kaizer Chiefs when they took the lead against the Kaizer Chiefs on match day 1. Skwankekana lays it back to Williams. As I said, it's been a tough start for them. Up next for Marumo Gallants, by the way, is a home game against Amazulu. And then they'll be at home against the TS Galaxy before they welcome Stellies. And then SuperSport come visit, and then they are away to Stellies and SuperSport United. So some really tough games that lie ahead for them. And it's a good ball. Now could be problems. Ayende went for power. Tried to destroy the keeper. And would have been better served by placing it. Brave goalkeeping from Daniel Akpe. Just put his body on the line. Anything will do just to keep it out. So great to see from Daniel Akpe, but he's come off the worst way here.
Just how calm he is.
I mean, I'm square in the face to Daniel Akpe.
Well, he had to, because he had to commit. Look at that. Sorry about that for him, but sometimes you've got to put your body on the line, straight on the face. I'm sure he's going to be okay. He's a big boy. He's having a bit of water.
So Ayende, he really should have had at least 2 now in this game.
Yeah.
Set up beautifully there by Ribeiro Costa. We're going to have a triple change. And just checking here that Daniel Akpe is...
he needs to be given that.
Yeah, wants to know whether he knows where he is, what day of the week it is.
Yeah. I've had this bad experience before.
Yeah, but that one, he took that one full.
Heavy on the face. You get a bit dizzy.
So I've had the statisticians extraordinaire crunch the numbers in terms of a 2-0 lead. And this is what the numbers they've come up with. In the PSL era, whenever a team has had a 2-0 lead at halftime, they've won 89% of those matches, drawn 8%, and only 3% lost. So, making a bit of a nonsense of the idea that a 2-0 lead is a precarious lead or an unsafe scoreline or a dangerous scoreline. So it's in the PSL era.
Yeah. But what it does create possibilities. If you concede 2 goals at halftime, you have another 45 minutes. So it does create possibilities mentally, except in terms of the execution, that becomes a different situation. I'm raising it from a footballer's perspective, but it does create that.
Even from a footballer's perspective, which lead would you rather have? 1-0 or 2-0? Had to make a choice between leading 1-0 or 2-0.
Well, those that are leading 2-0 or 1-0, the task is to defend your lead. And that's the question, is the how part. While those that are trailing, it's a question of how do we get back into this game. The quickest thing to do, of course, when you're leading 2-0 or 1-0 is to score quite early.
A triple change coming up for Mamelodi Sundowns here. They might as well keep them fresh for the weekend. And Peter Shadolele is happening to become accustomed to a place on the bench these days. Rivaldo Coutier is going to get arrested. On comes Pelelum Kulisa, who was a goal scorer against Marumo Gallants in the past. Peter Shalulile also has been amongst the goals against Marumo Gallants in the past, as Tuan is the other player that makes way, and Ibero Costa, well, his night's work is done. Saving for bigger battles ahead.
Yeah.
This is his contribution.
It has been so instrumental. Smart, clinical, fancy, if you like, in terms of the goals that he scored, the supply as well, very elegant passes, and you can understand when he gets a handshake from the coach and a conversation, of course.
As a youngster, Malibongwe Koza, who's making his PSL or Premiership debut. He did make his debut for the first team in the match against Mbabane Swallows in the tie in the two-legged fixture. He featured in both matches there, did Malibonga Koza. This is his Premiership debut, though, for the youngster. And by the way, he scored against Mbabane Swallows. So he's the third of the 3 changes then that Mamelodi Sundowns have made as they look to just consolidate this lead now. I think barring a miracle here. Oh, could be a chance here. Almost a half opening there. Sundowns don't want to lose this. Let's slip up their concentration, and Sundowns, we could have been in there. Sundowns want to maintain their concentration and their professionalism here. And Gabadinho Mhango is also standing by now, just to let. It's a bit of an interesting decision to leave him on the bench. I wonder what was that about, Brian Mate? When you have an option like Gabadinho Mhango in a game like this, you want to be using that experience and a player who knows his way to goal as well. So the fact that he's coming off the bench is an interesting one for me. And by the way, this is the second match in a row that Mhango has been brought off the bench.
Is he that fit to start?
Yeah, that could be an issue. That certainly could be an issue. Of course, the coach sees them more often than we do. Sees them every day of the week in training. It's a chance here! Flashes across. Probably a lot less closer than it looked. There's an effort there from Zulu, who's been a live wire, wide on that right-hand side for Marumo Gallants. Gabadinho Mhango confirming his introduction. Formerly with the club that whose status was bought by Marumo Gallants, that's Moroka Soros, Gabadinho Mhango. Here he is on the ball now. This will be a yellow card. For simulation, that would be his first contribution to the game, is to pick up a yellow. Gabadinho Mango. And he sheepishly looks up, he knows he's guilty. Gabadinho Mango, what a character. Well, into the book, that's his first meaningful contribution of the game, taking chances. You can see how he leaves his foot in there just to get a touch from Koza, the youngster, though. He was looking dangerously there.
Quick one for you. Is there any other Koza that you remember that played football, apart from the one Koza that is important when you play football?
Wasn't Bizum Simane's uncle the Koza? But, so his first name escapes me now. Somebody will remind me in a moment.
I'm sure they will, but I know there was a Tiki Koza.
Yes. Isn't that the person I'm referring to? I think that is the person I'm referring to. Was Bizum Simane's uncle. Clearly good pedigree that he comes from as Malibongwe Koza. Lays it back. Peter Shadulile competing for that one with Spear, but Spear comes away with it. Now, space opening up here for Mukubudi. Looking to switch it up there on the right hand side. Lulu. Tapelo, Lulu. Now they've given it away. They've lost it too cheaply. Marumo Gallants really not giving themselves a chance here. Matthews. Oh, ouch. Now, we come to Reyners. Shadulile waiting in the middle. Yes, Mabuja makes the block. Reyners. Not much power behind that one.
But again, the amount of time that was given to even pick the spot and attempt the shot, that should be a worrying factor for Coach Den Malisela.
One of many worrying factors in terms of what he has witnessed here this evening. There he is, man in the hot seat.
This is his former team as well. Playing that's out.
But of course, this is his second spell with Marumo Gallants. He was roped in after Dylan Kerr was managed to get himself back up. Like I was saying, this is his second spell with the club. It's his third spell for Daniel Malisela with the club. The first one was between November 2021 and June 2022. And then again, September 22 and January 2023. He was in charge when the Gallants lost in the final of the Nedbank Cup to Mamelodi Sundowns. So this is his third spell, which started now in July. What next was, of course, with Baroka last season. The players in this Marumo Gallant side that were with him at including Segena Stole, who was at Baroka, as was experienced defender Matume Mashiani, who was on the bench. Just 25 minutes left still in the game. It will seem like an eternity for Marumo Gallants. It is plenty of time for them to try and get something, in terms of at least sitting up or giving Mamelodi Sundowns something to think about. If they were to pull a goal back, and that pay has gone down here.
There are a few things that they have to do in order to try and get back to this game. They've got to get hold of the ball and start doing something with it. So far, they're not given the opportunity to enjoy that. Forced into defensive situation, and goalkeeper is exposed defensively, they look disjointed. So much space for the likes of Gullis to pick the sport. So many things that are going wrong.
Could be said there. Forcing a double save out of Daniel Agbe. Took one in the square in the face there to deny Allende. And now something else looks like it's bothering him. Could he say there that attempted the shot?
It's a distraction. Conversation, touch instructions to the players. There's no technical team is having a conversation with players.
Goalkeeper, coach there having conversations with the
ouch. That's what.
Yeah, that's wrong. Matthews being unkind there. Yeah, well, is that pay going off on the stretcher? We are going to have a change. Kagiso Mlambo is going to be introduced. You saw Jacob Okasi having some words with him there just to prepare him to get on. But yeah, what an awful time to have to come in. Your side are 3-0 down. And now Daniel Agbe, that's bad news for Marumo Gallants to lose him with his experience. I mean, he's actually probably been the difference between the bigger score line here between Gallants and Namibia score defeat here. He's made a few great saves, even in that first half, with Daniel Agbe. So, but now the injury force change here for Daniel Malisela. So it's Kagiso Mlambo who comes on to make his first appearance of the season. And well, we hope it's not a serious injury to Daniel Agbe, because they are going to need him for the battles that lie ahead. He's definitely going to need a player, a goalkeeper of his experience. Oh, what a horrible introduction! Oh, what a horrible introduction for Kagiso Mlambo. I was saying, what a terrible time to come in, and what a terrible situation. Kulisa helps himself to another goal against Marumo Gallants, as he did when the sides met in October 2022. And that makes it 4-0. Yeah, the worst possible introduction for Kagiso Mlambo. You are not really up to the pace of the game yet. And then you try to control the ball there with your feet. And the worst possible outcome.
If you haven't been to a comedy show in a long time, this is one of those. Because he can see there's pressure on him. How on earth do you become so casual? Because already when the ball was played back to you, you knew what was coming, because you was aware of what was coming. The next thing is you clear the ball. And you just get that, because the fact is that he's not even warming. No.
Just put a foot through it.
Just put the foot through it. And then he can recover. And now he's under pressure.
Yeah, suicidal stuff from Kagiso Mlambo in his first appearance here of the season. Started 13 matches in the Municipal Foundation Championship last season. And wow, what an introduction to the Premiership. His first appearance in the Premiership, by the way. And what a forgettable introduction that is. The worst possible way to make a debut. Marumo Gallants are going to make more changes. Siabulela Shai, who's tried, but it's been a lone effort for him upfield, is going to make way. And it's Monde Mpambaneso who's going to come on. Another experienced campaigner. There's a man down for Mamelodi Sundowns, but the referee waves play on. Now, chance to fire one in. It's wide again of the target.
So now it's a question of playing for your bigger in Kai. That will be a fail of no. We've been to Pretoria. This is what happened. It's fine.
We scored one goal.
We scored one goal. We hope to do better next time. Written by a team that was so slick in their passing, finishing.
They've been ruthless. Siabulela Shai makes his way off, and on comes Monde Bambaniso, who is first made his Premiership debut with Polokwane City back in the 2018-2019 season. It was December 2018 when he made his Premiership debut, and then joined the Polokwane City. I rather joined Marumo Gallants from Polokwane City. And they were at TTM, and now he was with them last season as well. Bambaniso is Juju. Credit to him. He's definitely one that can walk off the field with his head held high. If you just take away the little nutmeg by Tashrik Matthews. But 15 minutes still to go, my goodness. So much more damage that can still be inflicted by Mamelodi Sundowns in the remaining time.
Well, I guess at this stage, and after the game, there's a lot individually as players that you've got to do introspection in terms of your performance, but also overall to look at the team and say, where are we in terms of the level of fitness, this kind of style that we have? We have the best playing personnel to suit the kind of football that we want to play. There's a whole lot. There's lots of lessons to be learned, and positive ones, of course. We got beaten by one of the best teams.
Bambaniso, the diminutive man in the middle of the park, has just been introduced. Oh, they've given away possession again here. Shalulile scored a hat-trick against Marumo Gallants in the Nedbank Cup. When they were last in the top flight, Gallants. Shalulile didn't really connect with that one. And the keeper has the job this time around.
Let it go.
And still means Marumo Gallants have only ever scored one goal. And the man who scored that goal, by the way, is now Orlando Pirates. Oops, a mistake there. As Rodney Williams tried his best to keep that in play and avoid the corner. It was that header that was struck back by Moreno. Philip Idabaitecho, Jonjo, and then he scored the only goal that Marumo Gallants have ever scored against them, against Sundowns, as Shadudile tried something rather Mhango tried something speculative.
CBC had gone up. CB had gone up to add as real ammunition for the team. And let it supply. He has to deal with Shabugidi now.
Because his pass is intercepted. Oh, Bambaniso, nice skill there. Still going once the return. Double change being prepared by Mamelodi Sundowns. Just to keep the legs as a rest of few more players ahead of Saturday's encounter against Kaizer Chiefs, who no doubt will be watching and looking on to see how ruthless Mamelodi Sundowns have been here. To be honest, If you're really being honest, they haven't even needed to get out of second gear to get the job done. Jimmy Gossi Lodge, who was who featured as well and scored over the weekend against Mamanisolas replaces is going to come on. And Tapule Morena is another one that is about to change, is gone off as well. And Zuko Dunyelwa and Jimmy Gossi Lodge check in. Lodge making his second appearance off the bench in the Premiership. And Dunyelwa will replace a stage swap there with Tapelo Morena. Former Chippa United man, Zuko Dunyelwa. Shalibile muscled off the ball by Spear. Mabucha. It's Usendami. Zimbabwe, they've got a free kick here from a foul on Usendami. Really had a chance to see what he can do. So it's done quickly there by Malibang Koza. This will be a chance then from a set piece for Virginia Mhango. Looks a little bit annoyed there. I don't know whether he wanted to take it himself or why he looked a bit irritated.
I back to you.
He wanted to take it himself. But well, this says, nah, I got this. Listen, if Jojo were to produce something spectacular here, there'll be no less than he deserves. He's had a good game. I mean, he's been a one player who's really asked some questions of Sundowns down that right hand side. Now, this one definitely favors the right boot here. But you need something special to beat Ron Williams from this range. And now for the end was a turn. Just floated in, looking for somebody to kind of whip one in, or looking for someone to get a head on it. Go in now. There's Usendami. Corner. On another corner. This will be Sundowns now just a matter of over 10 minutes away from their fourth win in 5 matches against Marumo Gallants. And in the process, they've taken the number of goals scored against Marumo Gallants to 12. Bambaniso to the back post. To the guy there. You know what happened there? There's a player down in the box for
weird. Big boy that's missing now. Look at this Gallants team.
Yelwa. He's been fouled and has been there. Well, there'll be a happy camp up there. We're very pleased with what they've seen. So Henningberg, Trapattoni, that's a Trotwood that was sitting up there as well. I think they'll be very pleased with what they have seen. I can't therefore. And they made listen, it was going to be hard enough with beating Mamelodi Sundowns without helping them.
Haven't managed to do that. Instead, they've been very erratic.
Yeah.
And they've got punished for the mistakes that they've made.
Stayed onside. Tell you what, young Kagiso Mlambo will have nightmares about his first ever PSL appearance. Babadiso stayed onside here. He's looked like this is coming on. Tell you what, young Kagiso Mlambo will have nightmares about